this computer. All right, so it should say somewhere out there it's recording. I'm just going to give you a welcome. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Friday evening class. Right, so welcome Vincent, welcome Sam, welcome Chantel. Today I'm going to talk about...
Evening, everyone.
Oh, great, great. I hope you like my background. I tried to play around with it today. There's another picture of me, and there's my qualifications, and there I said, let's spread care to our students.
You're looking younger there.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, that was taken a couple of years ago. Right, so if you look at the question for assignment 3, last week when I assisted you, I had mentioned to you that you need to use functions in there because, well, that's what they want. They want functions in the, as a, if you could call it a, let's look at the question. They said you need to have functions, and that's what I'm going to tackle with today. I'm going to tackle functions because even though Vincent sent me a submission, it looks correct, but that's not what the assignment asked for, right? Now we need to basically answer what the lecturer wants. And she says, call the function, validate the function, use a function, calculate the price, and you need to have function calls. If you look at the rubric, when I say a rubric is how they're going to ask, mark the assignment, it says that you need to have functions in there. There's a function to validate function to display the times. Now, last week when we did it without a function. So it was one complete entire, when I say entire program being written. Today, I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a function in there. Now, I'm not sure if you've done functions before, but I'm going to assume as if you don't know anything about a function, and I'm going to start from first principles, basically, from fish. So if you know a little bit about a function, excuse me, and I'll take it from there. And the very simple function that I'm going to have,
Sir?
Vincent, yes? Yes, is that Chantel?
Can you check if, yes, can you check if there are people in the waiting room?
Oh, I'm sorry. How do I do that? How do I do that?
I'm not sure how you add people, how you allow people in the meeting.
Oh, okay.
There are people in the course 1511 group who are saying that they're in the waiting room.
Oh, okay. Let me do that. How do I? Thank you for that. I'll need to invite them into the room. Should have popped up.
Other people.
Allow participants.
Not yet, sir.
Okay, I've disabled the waiting room. I've disabled waiting room.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You should have seen that out there. Chantel, now can you can share the link if you like. Is that any more students are entering, Chantel? All right, may I continue, Chantel?
I just informed the others that the waiting room is disabled, so they can come
great.
in.
Right, so I've started a new share. You should be able to see. Let's do a new project, a new file. And okay, so new project, and I'm going to call this console application and C++ program, and I'm going to call this assignment 3 functions, right? So there we go. Now, what I'm going to do is, just to make my life a little easier, I'm going to start with the main program, right? In the main program, I'm going to have a function called welcome. So here's my function, and it's going to say welcome. And I'm going to name my function with the word welcome. And above that, I am now going to write the function called welcome. And all functions that we have are void functions. Now, a void function is basically a non-returning parameter function, call it. Oh, there we go. A participant has entered. So I'm sure it's worked, right? Welcome, new participant. I've disabled the waiting room so you can enter. And in order to have the welcome screen, I'm going to call it welcome. I'm going to call it by its name. There's no parameters. So I'm revising what a void function does. And inside there, according to the question, it says that I have to have a first name. That's what we did last week. Correct, Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we said, welcome
Yes, sir.
to course 1511 flight booking system, right? You should see that. Now you'll notice I am working in terms of a function. Then it says, see out, please enter your full name. Your full name. You will notice that it is within the function called welcome. Now I'm just going to pretend like that those are the only two lines of code, and I'm going to call it up in here. Let's do a build and run. I'm building the program. Yay, it's working. No hassle. Let's run the program. Chantal, just tell me if you can see the screen or must you do a new share? You can see the output.
I can see it.
You can see it. It says, welcome to class 1511. Please enter your full name.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Let's do a new share. Let's do a new share. And there it is. Now it should say, welcome to class 1511. And Chantal,
Yes, I see now.
Right. So are you happy that this program works?
Yes.
Chantal, you should be happy, right? We are all happy. Now I've returned to my previous screen. It should say using namespace void welcome string name first name. So what I'm trying to get at is that I am abiding by what the lecturer had stated in the assignment question, that we need to have functions. Chantal, whenever you can't see the screen, just stop me and tell me, right? Because I'm switching between code blocks and the output. Now it says, please enter your name, and I'm going to steal a little. I'm going to go to Vincent's program because Vincent has done, please enter your name. And let me see if Vincent's line is there. Please enter your full name, and it's called FD. I Control C is copy to assignment 3 functions and Control V. Now, Vincent, this is what you had given me, and I'm so happy that you started your program and it works, but it's not 100% working, right? Let me show you what's this. Nothing to be done, all done, build and run. Let's do a new share. And there's my new share. And it says, please enter your full name, right? So I'm going to say Prinavin Govender, right? Hello world, fine, it works. Now, what I need to do, I need to go back to share screen. And it says, C in F name. Now, instead of using C in, I'm going to use GETLINE. And the reason I got to do that is because I want to enter in my first name and my surname. I just want to display this to you on screen. So if I say C out, the name display is F name, right? Because I'm so happy Vincent gave me something to work with. And yay, it works, no hassle. Let's run that. Let's do a new share. And the new share is welcome to class 1511. Prinavin Govender. The name displayed is Prinavin, and it says hello world. Vincent, do you see that, Vincent? Oh, you
yes, I do, sir.
Right. Can you see it? It left out my surname, Govender. Vincent?
Yes, I see that, sir.
Right, you see that. Now we don't want that, right, Vincent? So that we wanted to say Prinavin Govender. And if you
Okay.
want to say hello world as well, right? So in order to correct your program, Vincent, that you submitted to me, I am going to use GETLINE, right? So let me go to my share, and I'm not using C in F name. I'm going to use GETLINE. GETLINE.
Yeah, I was.
There
I
we
also use
go.
GETLINE.
Oh, I'm so happy. Who's that?
It's
All right, thank you, Sam. Sam, right. F name, and did you use the tab key, Sam?
I used the backline N.
Backline in, just like what I've done, Sam.
Let me see.
Did you do that? Backline in.
Yes, yes.
Right,
Yes,
great.
because that allows
So
you to-
Vincent, in order to see, I'm not the only one who did that. Sam also did that. So I think it should work, right? Let's do a build and run. Let's do a build and run. So the first thing I corrected for you, build and run. And now let me do a new share. And you should see, enter your full name, Prinavin Govender. The name displayed is Prinavin Govender. Vincent, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the first thing we sorted out is instead of using C in, we now use GETLINE. And Sam agrees with that. Right? Sam agrees with that. So let's go back. Now, the next, you also notice Vincent and Sam and Chantal is I'm now doing modular programming. Can you see that? I have the word welcome there. And this is my main program. Look how nice and neat my main program looks. You check it out? Check it out. Now, this is how you must tackle this question. Now, the next thing that they want us to do is they want us to display the times. And I'm going to have another I'm calling it a function. And I'm going to call this function a void function because for now, I don't know how to use parameters and I'm not including parameters in there. And I'm going to call this a void function display flight times. Now you'll notice this is a convention that I use. Display, it has a capital D, capital F, and capital T. And I'm not allowed to have any spaces in between the words display, flight, and times. Oh, I've got fight, display, flight times. Right? Sam, may I ask you, did you work it out like this, Sam? Hello, Sam. How
Yes,
did
I'm
you, Sam, talk to me.
I used this. I used this struct thing.
You use struct. Oh, great. We talk about a struct now. We talk about a struct. It all depends what you want to use, right? I'll talk about a struct. In fact, here's my struct. I'm looking at. Right. Did you do this, Sam? Is this what you use? Sam?
Yes.
Can you see the struct, the flight info, string seat arrangement,
Yes.
string departure time? Oh, great. Right. This is what I've done as well. This is my solution. I should be giving it to you and letting you know. Right. So there's my display times that I have out there, right? Which I'm going to come to how I'm getting it. So I'll talk about a struct just now for the benefit of Chantal and Vincent. Chantal, have you thought about using a struct? A struct, S-T-R-U-C-T.
Oh. So what was the question?
Sam has used a struct in order to display the flight times, yes. And I'm asking you, would you have thought of using a struct in order to store?
No.
No. Okay, so we will need to know what a struct is, right? You need to know that. For now, all I'm doing is I'm breaking up the program. So 2 weeks ago, we started assignment 3. We did the entire question as assignment 3. We looked at it last week. We started working with assignment 3 and we wrote it out without functions in there. Today, I'm breaking it up into functions, or some people like to call them procedures, right? So here we go. Sam, this is one way of doing it. You must remember programming is such that you can tackle it from different points of view, right? So here we go. I've got display times, and I am going to call out Cout the available times. I'm just reading it. Available times for flights are. Now you'll notice this is from lesson 1. All I'm doing is I'm doing Cout statements. But can you see I'm talking about the functions and function calls? That's somewhere in the middle of the study guide, right? And let's go on, Cout. Right, now, again, thanks to Vincent. Vincent mentioned using set width. Set width kind of makes it look nice and pretty in columns. Sam, did you try to use set? Did you use set width when you were displaying your columns?
Actually, I used the tab thing, and then I was having problems with that.
Okay, so Sam,
at the end of the day, if I put a different name, like the length of the name changes, my ticket's layout is not the same.
Okay, all right. So you could try that where you use the tab key, or you could use set width, right? You know, this is Vincent may have used that. So set width, what it does is it kind of sets the number of characters depending on the width of the length of the width of the line, and it puts it nicely in columns. So I'm going to say first thing is depart, and there we go. Cout set width. There we go, set width out there. And I decided to use it after 8 spaces. ARRIVE, arrive, and inline. Right. So let me see how I'm going to call this function. In my main program, display flight times. Oh, there we go. And it says, I like it. It's called IntelliSense. Kinds of intelligently senses what I want to do, and it displays it. So let me do a build and run. Let's see. Now, can you see how my program is becoming larger and larger? I've got 2 functions in here. All right, there's my second function. Let's make it look a little pretty. And so last week I did this with you, but I did not use set width. Let's do a build and run. Let's do a build. Oh, something is amiss here. It says set width was not declared in the scope. Okay, set width was not declared because I need to use include IO stream, and I'm just going to share all my, I think it's this library map, right? Here's my library map, not library map. I'm going to say copy that, and I'm going to paste it, Control D. Now, in order to use set W, it needs, I think it's IO MANIP, right? Let's do a build and run. Oops, expected a semicolon before Cout. Oh, there. All right. By the way, I'm taking a big chance when I do this in a live demo. I need to ensure that I have my programs working. Ah, there we go. So build and run, it seems to be okay. Let's have a look at the output. I'm going to do a new share. Sam, can you see that, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm just asking you, Sam, because Vincent has some network issues, and right. So it says, please enter your full name, Prinavin Govender, and just look at my screen for a second, and give me a minute. I'm just right. Sorry about that. Right. Now, if you look, you would have a chance to look at the screen. It says the name displayed is Prinavin Govender. The available times of the flights are depart and arrive. So let's just make it look a little bit prettier. Let's just go and make it look prettier. So I need to go and change this out. Let's put that on the top there. And do I need a, I don't need the end line there. So it'll be set, arrive, and okay. And let me go and put in more details. Right, so it's got set W depart, and right, there we go. Let's call this back up on the top, set W arrive. So my departure and arrives are okay. Let's do another C out. And do you mind if I save some time and I'm going to just copy from my memo, right? So that's going to save me some time, and it's going to say 1 full stop 08:05 a.m. Right? Sam, you still with me, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I'm going to just copy some stuff from my memo, which I have. Instead of us wasting time, Control C, and here's my Control V. Right, so you guys would have typed in all of this. Right, so now again, it's not too complicated. All this comes from lesson 1, where I'm doing my C out statement. Vincent, Chantal, we did this last week, but we did it without any functions here. So now,
Yes.
yeah, Chantal, you'll recall it's very similar to what we did last week, where all I needed to do was display the times on screen. And I think you asked me the question about the switch statement, where I need to be able to select number 1, number 2, and go to my.
Yes. Yes.
So now that I've done that, let's see if it works. Let's see if this works. And it should look pretty. Let's do a build and run. Yay, let's do a share on the output. It says, please enter your full name. Maybe I should put in Vincent. Oh, I don't know his surname. Vincent, what's your surname?
Come again, sir.
What's your surname?
It's Shamase, S-H-A-M.
M.
A-S-E.
A-S-E, right? Shamasi, Vincent Shamasi. Yay, there we go. The name displayed is Vincent Shamasi. Can you see? Okay, I need to have some spaces in between the IS, but you can see your name out there. And if you notice the set W that we used, Vincent, it looks pretty nice. Can you see that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12:50, 1:15, 2:05, 8, 9 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Sam Khumalo, maybe you can think of doing that, right? No, my city is
All right.
right, Sam, maybe you can consider using set W in order to make it look nice and pretty. This is just an idea. You can also try the tab function as well. So now that I've done that, I need to now go and select 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and I need the program to be able to display what I have selected. Alternatively, I could also request for a function call when I choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's what I'm going to do next. So let's go back to my program. And in my program, I want to include this in my function for display flight times. But I'll also have to transfer that back to the main program because this is my main man. I call this the main man. And inside here, there are two functions. One is to say welcome, your name, and the next time it runs, it's going to display the flight times. Now, this is just the way I interpret the question. You could have interpreted it differently. Maybe you would want to put instead of having a function called welcome, you may want to have all of this in the main function. Or maybe you'd like to have display flight times inside welcome. But most importantly is that the output that we get must match what I have in my assignment question. So if I look at my assignment question says, let's look at the assignment question. Here's my assignment question. It should say, welcome to COS 1511 flight booking system. Yay, I've got that. Enter your full name, Jim Baker. Yay, I've got that. The available flight times for the flights are, yay, I've got that. Depart, arrive. Choose the time by entering the option number from the displayed list. Okay, that I don't have now. I'm going to include that. Let's go back. And now I need to say something to the effect of, let me see what was the writing out here. It says, choose the time by entering the option from the display list. Right? I need to say choose the time by entering the option number from the display list. Choose the time by entering the option number from the displayed list. Okay, I just did that on purpose. Right. So there we go. So I need to now state that, and I need to request from the user. In my case, I'm going to call it choice. In fact, that's what I did last week, right? I said choose the available times, and I'm going, because I'm running out of time, it's already 10 to 7. I'm now going to put this in and say I need to validate it. Now, in order to validate, I must only select numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In fact, I made a little competition joke this week. I said, why is it only displaying incorrect option, incorrect option? And thank you to Chantel. Chantel said, that's because I never entered in a number between 1 and, or from 1 to 5. This is how we do it. While choice is less than 0, and here's my or
I actually
statement.
thought of the
Chantal?
I actually thought of the while function earlier this week. I tried using it, but I couldn't. But yes.
Okay, there we go. I'm glad you
I
thought
actually
about.
used the for loop there.
You use a for loop, okay? And Sam, how did you determine if the number was not a number from 1 to 5 in a for loop?
Basically, I initialized.
Okay, and then?
Should I tell you what I did?
Talk to me, yes, please. We'd like to hear, because that's your strategy in order to tackle validating a number.
Okay, so I said for 4, and then int I is equals to 0.
Yes.
And then the semicolon, and then I is less than 5.
Yes.
And then I plus plus.
Okay, so you were able to extract, and what would have happened if the user entered in a number like 9? Did you try that out?
Yes, it will tell you that it's incorrect.
Okay, so, all right. Oh, Sam Kumalos says, evening everyone. So I see you said W. Yes, I did. Right. So if that works for you, by all means, go ahead with it. But in my instance, I like to use the while loop. So in my case, I'm going to say, this is just my, again, this is just my strategy or my technique. You don't have to take it incorrect option. And it's going to say, Sam, it says, please choose from 1 to 5. Now, Chantal was here last week, and Vincent, they saw this in operation, right? And they saw this working, so I'm calling it choice. Now, because I use choice, I need to go and declare choice on the top over here. And I'm going to call this int. Right. And Vincent, Sam, if you look at it, this is what happens in here. It will only go out of the loop if the person enters in a number that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In fact, I should have greater than, yeah, right, greater than 5, because I have 5 in here. Right, we'll try it out. Let's try it out. And let's see, let's do a build and run. Right, so it says enter your full name, Vincent. Choose the time by entering option numbers from the displayed list. The name, okay, going to say 1, 2, 3. It should, if I enter in number 9, it won't run again. If I enter in number 9, it's going to run again. If I enter in 4, it will go on to the next line of code. In my case, it doesn't have anything. So my question to you, Sam, oops, you didn't see that share that takes place. Please stop, tell us, Chantal, are you able to see the share of the screen?
Of the program?
Yeah.
Yes, not now.
Oh, you did.
But
Oh, you did.
Was.
Okay, so let's run it again. Let's run it again. Let's do a build and run. Okay, so feel free to ask me any questions as we're going along. If you want to test me and see whether I know my work or not. Right. So let's go back to my share, and there it is. So Sam, this is the only way I know of validating a number. With a for loop runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stops. With a while loop, it will run until it basically has the correct option within the scope of the loop. Sam, does that help you to differentiate between the while loop and the for loop?
No, the validating part, I did it with the while loop.
You did. Oh, you did the while loop. Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
I was just trying to handle the whole program from there, that I used the for loop going further down.
For which part, Sam?
You see where now you need to. What's this? Where it's going to ask you the available times for the flights and then depart and whatever. Then that's when I put the for loop there after you are available.
Okay. You used the for loop and you displayed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a for loop.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay too. That's okay. So number 1 would have been that, number 2 would have been that, number 3. All right. I expect to get it. But I'm sure you wouldn't have had to use this, Sam. This statement, switch. Sam, are you there?
I used the if else statement.
Okay, you use the if else statement. That's also fine. Now, a switch statement, in my view, in my opinion, is actually a nice and easy way of looking at the nested if statement. So you would have had to say, if choice is equal to 1, if choice is else, if choice is equal to 2, else, if choice is equal to 3, else, if choice is equal to 4. Is that correct, Sam?
Yes.
Right. I'm so glad that you came to our evening class on a Friday night. And guess what? This is a simpler way of using the complicated, in my opinion, if-else statement. So all you have to say is case 1. That means if the person had chosen 1, for now, I'm just going to say C out, and I'm going to take all this here. Right? This is just to start you off with the case statement. Control C, which we've done last week. Chantal was here and Sam was here and Vincent was here. So let me tell you what happens here. Sam, if the person enters in 1, it's going to display 8:05 a.m. to 9:10 a.m. Now you would have had, if choice is equal to 1, you would have had maybe a function call, or you'd have initially displayed the first time, which is 8:05 a.m. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam?
Come again, sir?
If you used the if-else statement, you would have had to say, if choice is equal to 1, C out 8:05 a.m. to 9:10 a.m.
No, remember I used a struct on that part.
You
So
use
when I'm
struct.
calling it.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You use a struct. You use a struct. You could have done it like that. Or in my case, I'm just displaying the times out for the person that has chosen it. I'm so glad that you understand the struct, right?
Because my struct now says like my declaration is flight K. So I'll say flight in those square brackets K dot flight, and then I used an INJ. So at the end of the day, it's going to be is equals to I plus a character A.
A character A. Okay, that comes up in my ultimate memo as well. So what I would, now that you mentioned struct more than once, I'd like to actually go and talk to you about the struct. Let's go to the struct option. I'm not sure if, there we go. There's a struct that I'm talking about that Sam has mentioned on more than one occasion. Sam, have you completed the assignment?
Yes, I have.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Excellent. Then you should have been excused from the class. I'm just explaining it to people who don't know how to do the strategy of tackling a
No, but maybe I did mistakes. So I'm just checking myself if I did the right thing.
Oh, okay, okay. Again, this is just one typical example of a solution, right? So in my case, the struct, Sam, are you able to see my struct for my flight information?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So Chantal and Vincent, you'll need to understand how to implement a struct in this program. And what I'm going to leave you guys with is the variable declarations for you to assist you in the strategy to tackle this. A struct is a record made up of a number of fields. So here we have seating arrangements, we have person's name, we have the departure time, we have the destination, we have the chosen flight time, we have the travel class, whether it was economy or what, the seat number, the arrival time, and the total amount and total bookings. All of this is encompassed within a record called flight information. I don't want to show you the rest of the solution, but you will need to ensure that you get to grasp the concept of a struct. Right? This goes for you and for the rest of the students, because I can see no other way of answering this question, and Sam will agree with me, other than using a struct to contain all the information. Yes, Sam?
I'll say, yeah, I agree with you.
Yes, thank you, Sam. You agree with me. Other than being able to, encompass it, I can't see any other way out. Just like in order to validate a number from 1 to 5, 4, or whatever, you've got to use a while loop, right? And what I'm going to do is, Sam gave me a nice idea. He said I should use the for loop in order to get the available times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm actually going to think about that. Right? So if I look at my question, always keep the question in mind. Here's the question. And it also gives me an idea that I need to use an array, because look at it, it's got rows and columns in there. And it also requests seat A2 or A3 or A4. And I can assure you, in order to do this, you will need to go and assign it to a particular row, a particular column. At the end of it all, it requests from the user that they need to display the travel ticket for the flight, the name, and it has a computation involved in there. Now, that's what I'd like to start with, work on for next week. I'm not going to give the solution out because as tutors, we don't do that. We strategize and we assist you and point you in the right direction as to what and how you need to do it. So far, I've given you the following tips for this evening. And the tips are that you need to ensure that you work with functions. Last week and the week before, we had a big idea of what the assignment question requests from us, where they wanted me to get the name and the surname and to display that. So I'm so happy Vincent gave me something to work with over the week. And in Vincent's example, there's Vincent's example here, right? You have to, programming, you have to work. You have to start working, studying, and trying something out. If you looked at my WhatsApp state, it says, write every day so that you have something to edit. In programming terms, program every day so you have something to look at errors and to work with. And Vincent worked everything out in one long program. Here, you do not have any functions in there. So if I had to critique, I'm not criticizing it, I'm critiquing it. I'm giving you constructive feedback, Vincent. So don't feel lousy or anything of that sort. Vincent, tell me you're not feeling lousy. You okay?
No, not at all, sir.
Oh, good. Because that's what you asked me for, assistance with it, right? So you need to break this up into functions. And I gave you an example of how to do that. Here's the two functions that I started off. Right? Welcome and display flight times. And I also corrected you in that you need to use GETLINE and not FNAME. I mean, not just C in FNAME. Okay?
Noted.
Good.
Noted.
You asked me on Wednesday. I know I spent yesterday and today just looking through it. I'm also so busy, full-time lecturer. And believe it or not, we're not having any lectures, but they're making us attend meetings and workshops. So they're keeping us occupied at work, right? But if I had to critique it and I had to assess you and to give you a strategy and to look at it and give you some feedback, I will say use functions, use the GETLINE feature. And if I had to use Sam's example, I would say, Sam, instead of using if, else if, use a switch statement. Okay? If I had to ask Chantal and answer her query, I would say, Chantal, you need to think about using structs, learning about a struct so that you can store different fields within one particular structure. All right? Vincent,
Noted.
question time, query?
Yes, sir.
Yes, queries, questions.
No, I think you've pointed me rather in the right direction, so thanks.
Okay, great. Right, so you take your example that you have and work on it, right? Split it up. Chantal, question from you?
No question, sir.
No question. Oh, Tumelo says, sorry, I'm late. Oh, Tumelo, I'm sorry, we started at 6. In fact, 6:15 because Chantal only finished his work at 6. So that's how I said that. And Vincent wanted to start at 6, but yeah. So I replied to you. Sam, do you have any feedback, any queries, any questions for us?
No, nothing at the moment, sir.
Nothing at the moment. Okay. I'll stop the share. And do I have any other? Tumelo, you missed it. You will have to watch the recording, Tumelo. All right. And how do you pronounce this? Luvukani. Luvukani? You want to unmute and say
Yes, hi. That's
Hi,
the correct pronunciation.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Hi,
good.
how are
I'm
you?
good. Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. I hope you learned something new and it helps you to tackle assignment 3. Okay, Luvukani, you've got Sam here, you've got Vincent, you've got Tumelo. Oh, there's Jason Beloy. Hello, Jason.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing well. Where are you from, Jason?
Soweto.
Okay,
Gauteng.
Soweto. Soweto.
Yeah.
Do you know Soweto stands for South West
Western Township.
Township? Yay! Southwest
Yeah.
Township. Welcome, welcome, Jason. And I can let you know,
Thank you.
Vincent's from Pietermaritzburg. Okay. So, and
All
I'm
right.
from Durban. And Chantal is from, were you from Mpumalanga or Limpopo, Chantal?
Limpopo, sir.
Limpopo. Okay, okay. See, we've got people all around the country here, Jason. Right? Jason, how far are you with your assignment 3?
I was still going through the book, so I started yesterday with it
Okay,
fully.
okay, good, Jason, good. You started, right? You've got 2 weeks, and I also think that they're not giving you an extension. If I look at the question, let me just share that with you. I don't think they give me an extension, so you better do it ASAP. That's ASAP,
All right.
right? And with this assignment, you can't leave it for the last moment. I can tell you that now, right? Sam is there.
Yeah.
Sam, talk to me, Sam. How long does it take you to work on this assignment, Sam?
I think a week.
A week.
Yeah,
A week.
if I'm correct. Yes.
Okay, a week. A week, as in working every single day, Sam?
Not really.
Okay, okay, but from what you've told me, I think you have some programming experience.
No, I don't. Remember,
You
I
don't?
asked you to help me with something.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. So you do have some experience. That means you worked before. It's not as if you started 1 week ago with lesson number 1 and back 7 days later with lesson number 30 and you got the assignment done, right? Okay, so very importantly, this carries 30% of your semester mark. So it's a hell of a lot of marks. And if you are able to work on this question by yourself, you have a good grasp of the curriculum in COS 1511. All right, so please take it easy, go through it slowly, work with each part at a time, look at what's the output, what's required of it, and look at the rubric, because the rubric gives you an idea of what they expect you to do. Right? The rubric, there's the rubric at the end. At the end, they tell you how you're going to mark it. They tell you that you need constants. They tell you that they use data structure. They tell you that you need to validate the flight time option. They tell you that you need to validate the booked seats option. They tell you that you need to display the time option. And oh, they ask for a 2-dimensional array. Look at that. They ask you to validate the option entered by the user. In fact, I've given you those marks for free. They ask you to display the seats for any flight time. And validation is pretty important, And here's a lovely tip to take away today, Jason. In order to validate, you need to use the while loop. I'm sure Sam will agree with me on that one. Sam, what do you say about that?
100%.
100%. Sam says 100%. Vincent, there's another tip for you. In order to validate, set of numbers, you need to use the while loop. Chantal, I'm repeating that for you. Validation means while loop, all right? And validation, you need
Yes,
to
sir.
use the OR operation, all right? Which I've done and I've given it to you. And I think I'll WhatsApp it also to you, right? Vincent, I'll WhatsApp it to you. Okay. But I don't do any, I don't help with any assignment questions. Okay, if I'm looking at my time, it's 7:10. I started around about 6:15. My lectures at work is normally 45 to 50 minutes. Do you have any questions, queries, feedback?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, thank you, Vincent. Chantal?
No.
Nope, you're good. Jason from Soweto, Southwest Township.
I'll
Nope.
send you an email
No.
if I come across a problem.
Okay, you have my email. And I'd like it if you'll also use the discussion forum in the My UNISA site. Right?
Oh, yes, and that.
Yes. I post lots of resources. In fact, I started working on the October-November 2019 paper. I'm not sure if you've seen that. Sam, I think you should work on that now that you've completed this assignment. Right? You look at the October-November examination, because that's very important. That'll help you to give you an idea of what we can expect in 2021. As soon as we finish with assignment 3, I'm going to be working on a strategy to tackle past year exam papers. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Right? Are we cool?
Very.
Are we cool? Good. It'll be nice if y'all could make up a little study group amongst yourselves, like a little WhatsApp group or something that plays around. Would y'all be interested in that? Not me now. I'm talking Vincent.
Yeah, I would.
You do have a WhatsApp group.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one.
Great. Okay. 11
I
minutes.
don't mind one as well.
You don't mind? Okay. Vincent,
Yes.
can we share your number with the? You have a WhatsApp group running. Maybe you can contact each other, or can I share it with Chantal?
Yeah, you can share it, sir.
Okay, Chantal, I'll send you the contact list, contact number on WhatsApp. Is that okay? Chantal from Limpopo. Okay,
Sir?
I'll share Vincent's number on WhatsApp. Is it cool?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I got a missed call.
Sir, I have a very bad network.
Okay, sorry. Don't worry. I'll just I won't put it in the chat because then everybody will have Vincent's number, and I don't think his wife will be too happy with that. Right, Vincent?
Yeah, she wouldn't.
Yeah. But this is all. Blame it on me. I'm the your e-tutor, and I said, no. This is called peer-to-peer learning. You all work together. You all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there's no other questions, queries, thank you so much for joining me, Vincent, Sam, Jason, Chantal, Tumelo, and Luvukani, and then there's some others here. Oh, Luvukani, give me a thumbs up. I love those reactions in Zoom. I love that, right? Okay. So if that's all, then I'm going to say my goodbyes. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Good luck with the assignment 3. I'll post the link to your WhatsApp and I'll post it to. Oh, let me stop the recording. I forgot about that. Again, I forgot.